Let's discuss a concept called goodwill. There are two types of goodwill. One is called the purchase goodwill. Another is called the internally generated goodwill. Take an example. For example, if a company has started a business and afterwards the business has generated some reputation, uh, positive reputation for it, as business do not buy that goodwill, so it's called the internally generated goodwill. As we can't place a suitable value or reliable value on that goodwill, so it cannot be recognized in financial statement. As far as purchase goodwill is concerned, purchase goodwill is achieved when we acquire a subsidiary company. How can we identify whether the company is a subsidiary company or not? If we acquire more than 50% shares of a company, then it's called a subsidiary company. And as a result, the goodwill that we have purchased is called the purchase goodwill. Now, there are two types of purchase goodwill. One is called the positive goodwill, and another is called the negative goodwill. Also called the bargain purchase. Assuming we acquire some shares in a company and we pay the cost of investment 100 million, and against which we acquire the net asset of that company, and that net asset was 80 million. The difference is 20 million is the excess over the net asset value is called the positive goodwill. The additional amount paid is because of the positive reputation of the company. And as it's positive goodwill, that means that it will provide future economic benefits. As far as the negative goodwill is concerned, assuming our cost of investment was 100 million and the net asset of subsidiary was 120 million. That 20 million amount that we are getting from the acquisition of subsidiary means the assets we have purchased is 120 million and we have paid less than the assets amount, so that 20 million benefit is to be considered as negative goodwill. For positive goodwill, we can say that we have acquired a company having positive reputation, and for negative goodwill, we can say that we have acquired a company having some negativity, some losses, some future losses. That's why we are paying them less amount as compared to their value. Now, the accounting treatment of positive goodwill. As I've told you earlier that we will be getting more economic benefits as a result of positive image of the company. So positive goodwill is to be recognized as intangible non-current asset in consolidated financial statement. Remember, goodwill cannot be recognized in single company's financial position. It can only be recognized when you acquire a company and the statuses of parent and subsidiary. So we will record it as a non-current asset. Initially, it would be recognized at its cost, the price that you have paid and the excess value, that is the cost. Afterward, at each balance sheet date, there will be no amortization. Usually, we amortize intangible assets, but goodwill is not subject to amortization at its life is not measurable. But that goodwill is subject to impairment testing under IAS 36. And if the carrying amount of goodwill is greater than its recoverable amount, then there is an impairment loss. And we have to recognize this impairment loss in profit and loss account, so that impairment charges would be recognized in profit and loss account, income statement. Similarly, goodwill cannot be revalued upward. Means that if someone claims that we have the original goodwill is 20 million, but someone claims that the goodwill has been increased. So as we haven't purchased other goodwill or any other company, so we cannot increase the value of the goodwill. Goodwill value cannot be increased. Rather than it can be decreased via impairment loss. So revaluation is not allowed. So goodwill is subject to impairment loss. It can never be amortized and it can never be revalued upward. As far as the treatment of negative goodwill is concerned, it's very simple accounting treatment. As we have paid the less amount over the net assets, again, the cost of investment was 100 million and the net assets that we have acquired was greater than 100 million. So the incentive of 10 million is to be recognized immediately in profit and loss account as income. It is an immediate benefit, so it's to be recognized immediately as income.